Anupama says, seeing everything as a mirror, when you move away from the mirror, there is no image for detachment. So I think that's more a statement.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Sudhakar Kabra says, can a person be a renunciate without being spiritual?
Not possible.
Okay.
That is not possible. It's like asking, can a person be a doctor without studying, going to medical college?
Okay.
That is not possible.
So you need a higher understanding, and that only comes when you're on the
Called
spiritual
spiritual.
path. Yeah.
So what we have to understand is what is the meaning we are going to give for a person being spiritual then. I don't know what he means by the term spiritual.
Okay.
Spiritual and renunciation are one and the same thing. It's like two sides of a coin. You cannot have only one side of a coin. Then it is fake. It's not real note.
Yeah.
Like when we had, in Karnataka, they did know these fellows. When they, when that, during that demonetization, introduced this new 2000 rupee note. When nobody knew, this fellow took a color Xerox photocopy of that, this one, 2000 rupee note, and he started giving to people. Saying this 2000 rupee note, it's fake. And the fellow made a mistake. How they identified was he took only one side. Other side he didn't take. It's not possible, please.
Not possible. Okay. Anupama ji, I can't understand your question. Would you like to unmute and ask it, please? Anupama ji, would you like to unmute and ask, because it's not complete, your question here.
The question we have is that people also quote. That's a mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people also quote after film stars and famous people. So how so? The film stars and famous people, they are not courting actually. They are not courting them. They only wanted to take a picture with them. That's about it. That's not courting. Courting is I am coming along with you as a person in the relationship. Otherwise, how are we to explain 7 times this lady divorced? Elizabeth Taylor. All those famous personalities look extraordinary to you from a distance, not when they are close. You see, when you go closer to them, they don't look any great. You say, oh what? They look so phony. I'm not saying all those people. Okay, there are deep people also there. If there is that depth, that is possible only if they had this quality of renunciation in them. Then people say, I will come along with you. Otherwise, all that they want to do is only this, Walking Vedanta in real life. Thank you. You can sit also. You don't have to be constantly walking.
Anupama ji says, renunciation is a balm for the soul, for oneself to pass through the sufferings of the world.
No. You are putting a very negative one for renunciation. You see, renunciation is not because of your incapacitation to take the pain, you drop something. That's not renunciation. Right. He's thinking renunciation is like dropping a hot potato. And I'm relating with the world, I get knocks and shocks. And I cannot take those knocks and shocks because of my attachment. Therefore, I run towards detachment. That is escapism. No. Renunciation is a state of enjoying health and bliss. In the presence of the bliss that is enjoyed, there is no such thing called suffering, he would understand. That is why Christ could go to the extreme of crucifixion. There he says, Father, forgive them, they know not what they're doing. Now we are looking at that and say, oh my God, Christ is so much of suffering, so much of pain. In that pain, he says, forgive. No, what he's saying is he is only sympathizing the ignorance of those guys. What is the agenda of all those people? The agenda of them was to inflict pain to him. He says they know not what they're doing. Why? It is not possible for them to give pain to me. Why? I am all blissful. So forgive those people, ignorant guys, they don't understand what they're talking, what they're doing. Now we look at that and say, what? Oh my God, they are nailing him, they are whipping him. Oh my God, so much of pain he must be going through. In spite of him going through all that pain, he says, forgive them. What we fail to recognize is, he has never experienced that pain. Immediately don't say, he has gone into some abstract mode. He has detached himself from the body. His astral body has got transferred. Blabbering. It's a clear indication of non-understanding spiritual master, which means a person who has never done any spiritual effort. If you put in little spiritual effort, you will understand what this is. He says, it's not that, please. Renunciation is a state where you are filled with bliss. As a result, you can't even understand what is suffering there. Okay, what is suffering in this now? It's, go back to the same example of monopoly money. Right? Is your state, apply this here. Is it a balm for the soul, one passing through the sufferings of monopoly money? Is it a balm? No. You have got nothing to do with it, isn't it? Apply. Remember that's why I gave you that example. You see, there are two examples I have given you. Monopoly money and fruit. Remember those two things and apply whatever understanding you are getting with reference to renunciation. Apply. Then go back to the principles I asked. Is it to do with running out? Is it to do with status? Is it to do with number of possessions? Is it to do with this? You delete all that. Then you will get an understanding of what is renunciation. Of course, in one day, I don't expect people to understand it. It is not easy. Okay. But it is better you bring out your ideas. More you bring out your ideas, it is easier for you for us to decode and analyze. Right. So it's not a balm or anything, please. Don't take it as some sort of a solution for your sufferings of samsara. It's not. It is going for positive joy, not no negative. Become a millionaire is what renunciation is. You are saying, don't have any loans, no debts, no overdrafts. Renunciation is not a state of no overdrafts and no debts. It is a state of a multimillionaire. Obviously, in that state, there will not be any debts. Understood? You see?
Ramchandranji says, how about people taking sannyasa for doing spiritual practice? They can do well in the worldly life itself.
See, the sannyasa is a particular lifestyle, remember. Right? A lifestyle is a choice of an individual. according to their preferences, according to their personality, according to their nature, their agenda. For that, they take a particular lifestyle. That's all. That has got nothing to do with this. In fact, sannyasa is taken only to engage themselves more and more. Like a person who wants to do research to find a vaccine for coronavirus, he cannot be doing marketing, isn't it? The research scientist cannot be sitting and doing marketing, nor can he be sitting and engaging himself in the finance. No, he should be provided the finances. That product, whatever he's bringing out, should be appropriately marketed, the supply chain, this, from where they have to procure the resource, medicinal requirements, all that has to be done by somebody else. But if he has to do it, he has to move away from all these activities, engage only in that. Exactly like that. Spiritual practices demand X amount of concentrated time to be spent. Right. Now, when the person wants to go for that, he takes a formal sannyasa, announcing to the world that I have taken up. That is why he has given a different name, he has given a different dress code also. So that the moment we see him in the dress code, we don't go and disturb him. We don't go to him and ask, you look so good, you look so young. Like one lady, she called some time back when I started this, online classes. She was attending the classes and then she called the number and she started taking all my details. After about 15 minutes of conversation only, she says, my, relative has one daughter we are looking for, and she's talking to my wife. She got so annoyed. That is where I understood why they gave ochre color dress. Because the moment you see the dress, what happens? Hey, don't disturb me with all these things. We announce the word. You don't talk to me about certain things. Don't call me. We have a credit card. We have a debit card. Would you like to have life insurance, health insurance? I'm not interested in all those things. So that I don't get disturbed. That's the purpose of sannyasa. That's about it. Nothing else. Formal sannyasa, because the spiritual practices that he wants to do demands that amount of concentrated effort. No diversion possible, like a research. But it's a lifestyle. That doesn't mean anything, please. It is a lifestyle he's taking. That's about it. Desires are the cause.
Last two questions by Anupama.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Desires are the cause of suffering. Asking the question is a question by Anupama. Or desires the cause of this. Correct. Desires is the cause of suffering. There's another question by Meenakshi. How to have emotional discipline in worldly life? See, when we say emotional discipline, there are two levels you can understand emotions. One, you understand emotion from the angle of expression. Another, you understand from the angle of feeling. One is the feeling part of the emotion. Another is expression part of the emotion. I love my child. That's a feeling. I am so concerned about my child's welfare. Correct. I don't want my child to have any pain in her life. Correct. Having said all this, I will take the child to the hospital and give vaccinations. When I'm giving that vaccination injection, the child will scream out of pain. Now you will say what? Hey, you only said you are so concerned, you don't want my child to suffer. And now you are inflicting suffering, you are inflicting pain to the child. You say, no, 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 no. They are two different things. Action is one thing, expression of that emotion is one thing, feeling that emotion is another thing. Discipline in emotion means the expression part of that emotion needs to be done under the supervision of your discriminative thinking, intellect. Then it is discipline. When that expression is not happening under the guidance of intellect, under the supervision of intellect, indiscipline. But intellect should not interfere with the feeling part of it. That is also discipline. Discipline means when to go, when not to go. When you see green light, you can go. When you see red light, you have to stop. When you see yellow light, you have to slow down. This is discipline. When without seeing any one of those things, I keep driving is licentious. Opposite of discipline is licentious living. You see, emotionally, today, we never apply ourselves. Like I see a lot of parents today. I'm just giving an example. Okay, it's not doesn't mean it's the same thing. Just an example I'm giving. Sit and start having a rational dialogue with 2.5-year-old. Forget about 2.5-year-old child. They have a discussion with a dog. You see, as though the dog is going to have a conversation with you. You see, they are not. They are not designed. They are not designed for it. The same parent, when the child becomes 25-year-old, become very emotional. With 2.5-year-old child, we are very rational. With reference to 25-year-old child, we become emotional. Where is thinking? How are we manifesting my affection, my anger, my love, my concern, my trust, forgiveness, compassion? Is there any discrimination in that? But feeling is separated. Remember this. So, step one, with reference to emotional discipline, step one is first part is feeling of emotion is different, expression of emotion is different. Two, expression, manifestation of that emotion should be under the guidance and supervision of your thinking. Thinking means, is it the right way? Is it the right time? Is it the right person? Is it the right place? All that needs to be considered and then expressed. That is called emotional discipline in worldly life. This is called emotional intelligence, they say. This is all emotional intelligence, the word they use. This is all emotional intelligences.
Thank you so much, Ishwaranji. Thank you for a great session again. And thank you to all the participants for your valuable presence this evening. Next week, on the 29th, we have a very special program which is called Well Having versus Well Being. It's an economic perspective from a cultural, social, and spiritual outlook. It's going to be a conversation between Professor Piero Formica, who is very well known and has written many books on economics, and our program director, Shri Krishnapani Kesiraju. Please look for all those for the information and details on our WhatsApp groups, and we'll also be sharing it by email. Please block your date for this particular webinar. We also have yoga as usual on Sundays, and we'll be posting that as well. So at Rtambhara, we look forward to your presence every Friday, where we bring you interesting topics on holistic wellness and the arts, delivered by a host of distinguished, knowledgeable speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Namaste. Yes, Krishnapani ji, you want to say something?
I just wanted to profusely thank Ishwaranji.
Sure.
Because what happens is, when you are listening to somebody, unless we focus, and in the sense, unless we are very attentive to it, we are likely to miss so many important things. As a last word, I would like to profusely thank him and say that he has given a new dimension to this term renunciation by saying that it is an effect and not something to be initiated or practiced. And the other beautiful thing is, he said renunciation is growth. This is actually a beautiful quote. I think we should put this thing in a frame and put it in front of us to remember every time. It is true. Renunciation is growth and maturing through understanding, whereby what happens is you drop the things effortlessly. You don't make an effort for that. You need to drop it effortlessly. So I think today for me, thank you, Ishwaranji. My takeaway from this talk is I'm going to put it in my mental framework that renunciation is growth. That's a wonderful thing. We have been reading and doing so many things, but listening to people gives a new dimension to things. So that listening with that attention and that humility is what has really helped us. And I'm again closing with that, sir, it is in my mind, renunciation is growth. Thank you so much. Thank you.